How you doing there, folks? So here's another video with Karen from our chat, and I would say that this is the most important snippet that she dropped, and it definitely woke something up in me that I was unaware of. And it's basically our human condition, and as far as our modern selves with all the technology, all the bells and whistles and distractions. So this could be triggering to some people who have invested a lot of time and money in a certain trade or skill or job. So just a warning, and yeah, it's great stuff. It's really healing in my opinion. So here you are. What's super intriguing to me about all the stuff is like the spirituality and the conspiracy stuff is kind of together. Like there's a camp of people in speaking out against this kind of stuff, and I guess the connection I see is that like they've been suppressing us and lying to us to keep us disconnected from our spiritual gifts. uh,
hmm
would you agree with that? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in all reality, what's been going on here is humans have been enslaved for thousands of years. And so, and we think that we are free beings, we think that we are sovereign beings, but when you begin to understand both the conspiracy and the spiritual side of things, you can see that humans have been enslaved for thousands of years. The fact that we wake up every day feeling the need to go to work hard, to make money, to buy these houses, to fit
Well,
within a materialistic, capitalistic society, to pay taxes to governments, to make our world safe and functional, and all of these things. It's the biggest lie of humanity's
mm,
existence. I mean, if you haven't looked at the Venus Project, I highly recommend. He has a great documentary called "The Choice Is Ours," and he's a beautiful vision for what New Earth looks like. And very now that we know that New Earth is very close, it's so fun to go and see his vision. Anyway, the idea that we live in a money-based system, but really what we should be focused on is a resource-based system. We have all the resources we need in the world to end world hunger, to make sure that everybody is very wealthy, very comfortable, very has all of their basic needs met, but we don't have enough money in the world to do that. So clearly we're in the wrong business, because if we just switched our mentality, if we removed the monetary system, we removed any kind of barter or trade system, when we move to a system where the resources in the world are owned by everyone in the world, and it's all of our responsibility to see that the resources are not only distributed equally so that everyone has enough, but they are taken care of so that they will last in perpetuity. That we're taking care of the world. And even that alone, it's like, Jesus, why the fuck do we have governments in place? Like when we hear things like this, and we hear there's all these problems that could be solved, but they're not being solved. We're supposedly the smartest we've ever been in history. We're so technologically advanced right now, and yet we have so many problems in the world, and why can't we solve them? So yes, they're intertwined, because humanity has really been in a state of slavery for these hundreds of years, thousands. It's been thousands of years, actually. But yeah, I don't know, there's a few timeline overlaps in terms of historically how this has worked. I'm still kind of finding out where these lines meet up. But through these systems of taxes and working these jobs, we work jobs to pay the wealthy. We feel entitled, we feel obligated to go out and get jobs. We feel that's our duty in this world. But realistically, who benefits from that? Only the wealthy benefit. The
mhm.
only and they benefit through the banking system, and through the taxation system. And it's all a fraud, and it's all managed and run by the same elite people at the top. Every problem in this world is a fabrication from these people up here. So nothing that we do in this earth is for our own enjoyment. Our entire way of living, our entire systems of living have been fabricated by other people to keep us in a state of servitude without our knowing. And there's the saying, give them bread and circus. It was an old Roman saying. And this is what happened in the Roman Empire. People were very suppressed, but they put on big Colosseum shows. They had the gladiators at the Colosseum, and people thought that they had sovereignty and freedom and that life was good because they got to have their shows. But it's all an act. And I think what is interesting about that is that each and every single one of us knows, like, we all have this inkling inside of us that there's something more to this life, and that there's something more to us, and that we all intrinsically believe, like, I just know that I'm destined to do these amazing things if only I had the right resources, or if only I had the right opportunity, or if only we all believe that we are more powerful than we are being given an opportunity to be right now. And that's what the Great Awakening is about. It's this inner knowing, because that intuitive, as dulled down it is through the programming, that inner knowing is there within all of us. And the more layers that you unpack with the conspiracy stuff, you begin to see just how true that is, and how powerful we are, and how much true nirvana and joy and pleasure is available to us when we are liberated from this servitude that we've been embedded in. The other really interesting thing to think about and consider is the internet, and how we are slaves to the internet. So I'll try to make this concise. Let's see how I go. You've seen The Matrix, right? Where I haven't seen it for at least 10 years, so I need to go back and watch it again. It's on my list. But where Neo goes into the room and the humans are like in those beds, and there's like a cable coming out of their head into like a big machine, and they're asleep. And this is the internet. So right now what is happening, and if you've seen The Social Dilemma or The Great Hack, those really amazing docos about how social media is ruining our lives, frankly, this is what I want you to think about when you picture Neo in that room. Those humans are essentially us. And so the idea is these humans they're asleep, and in their minds is what's playing out in our reality. So think of it like a virtual reality. So those humans are lying down in those beds, they've got their virtual reality goggles on, and what they see in their reality is what you and I are doing right now in this lifetime. This is what the Matrix is like saying, is that the subtext is behind that we have someone behind us in that bed with the goggles on. And we're just in this reality. The programming has created this reality that we see in this existence based on all of these kind of social constructs and things around us. So what technology is doing right now is they are basically taking all of the intelligence from humans, and they are building a supercomputer. They are using AI and machine learning to become smarter than humans by first stripping humans from all of their knowledge and information. So, if you remember from The Social Dilemma, we learned, and The Great Hack, these platforms take all of these psychological data points from us, and they use our cameras and our reactions to develop these psychological profiles about how we act and how we think. So if you can now see how these tech companies are learning that they're learning our behaviors, and they're learning how to control our behaviors as well, because of course we know that the algorithms can ask us to affect our behavior. They want us to take these certain behaviors. So that alone is another example of how this servitude and this slavery is being perpetuated. So we are, and don't forget too, these tech companies make so much money from these platforms that they've created to turn us into slaves, because we're slaves to our phone. They are mining our intelligence, our everything. They're mining this intelligence for free, and then they are selling that intelligence to other people. So they are selling our systems to other people. They are selling your intelligence is being sold. And that this is like, advertising is going down, mark my words. Like, we have all been, you shouldn't be able to purchase advertising. We should be able to choose whether we see advertising. The model is completely backwards. We should be being paid to see ads, not the other way around. And these companies are making money from putting these ads in front of us. It's all completely wrong. And so even that alone is a very good example of how this works, and just how like dangerous it is, or how dangerously close we have gotten to a position where we are even more under control, because these supercomputers who are learning how to be smarter humans than we are by taking our intelligence and using AI to become smarter, machine learning to become smarter, they are becoming smarter than us. You know, we can't keep up with that, especially when we're all asleep and we're all being suppressed by these various things. So that is, you know, and why is it so? Because, you know, there's essentially just a group of dark entities at the top of all of this, and they're very greedy and they're very wealth driven, and they, you know, don't give a fuck. So yeah.
So there you have it, folks. Unfortunately, we have been tricked with all of this technology, these upgrading iPhones and video games and all that stuff. It's really a big distraction from ourselves and from the fact that we have been duped into believing that we have to make money for someone else to be a cog in the system to make it all work. And it's not true. And it's okay, because it's been very tricky, and there's a lot of social conditioning put into this idea. And there's a very good video from Elizabeth April who talks about the creation of humanity basically being from the Anunnaki alien race to make us slaves, literally. So it's deeply embedded in our DNA. If you believe in aliens, it's another concept you can get into. I'll leave the video here for you guys to watch. And I have a question for all of you, and that is, how present are you to that little inkling inside of you that has been saying, you know, I think there's more to life than this. Whatever it is you're doing, some 9-to-5 job, or doing things to please your parents or other people in your lives. Definitely, I invite you to ponder on that, because that's the beauty of being a human being, is that we have free will. We get to do whatever we want, essentially. Yeah, the Great Awakening is here, so it's okay. You can get excited at seeing all this shit crumble, because it's going to happen. At least that's my belief, and it's going to be sweet. So history is being made, folks. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out more of Karen's stuff. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, her Google Drive is down there for more shit to wake up to. So hope y'all enjoyed it. Take care. Love you guys. Peace.